With you and Jackie, which one's Sam? You'll go for it.
Hey Sam, just initial reactions, what you were saying to the players at full time, what the mood was like.
A lot of work to be done, Theo, for sure. Some bright moments. I thought when Barb Olivier came in, she did. In fact, all three subs I think came in and did a decent job. Yeah, just frustrating. First half statistics. We won 11 out of 36 first balls, so really, really difficult, Theo, to play any team in this league, especially when you've got a team that's littered with quality like that, and expect to come out of the game with anything. So frustrating that we didn't turn up physically and think about first and second balls, and I think some of that might have been to do with our structure and the fact that the rain were looking to play a little bit longer and play direct into Heidemer, but yeah, frustrating for sure.
When you talk about structure there, maybe them playing a bit long, them winning a lot of aerial battles and kind of getting crosses in. What do you think was the main culprit for that not working, and what did you try to do to change it during the game?
Well, I think the first thing is contesting the first ball, and then being in a position where as soon as the ball goes over your head, that we're dropping down and getting compact and getting ourselves in a position and a structure where we can deal with second balls. The spacing between the lines was too big, especially when they went longer. And Heitem obviously worked with her last year, tremendous player with a back to goal, and I felt that we made things easy for them and for her in particular by playing long up to her and bringing other people into play. But then I also think from a sort of physical perspective, we were bullied a little bit, to be honest with you.
Did you think, obviously hindsight's 2020, but with Latsko, Heitem, Bolster as well, adding a lot of that physical presence, was this a game where maybe Katie Lynn should have started or come in, earlier?
Yeah, I mean, easy to say that, but I mean, Katie was out for 7 or 8 weeks, and that would have been her third start in 7 days, and it just wasn't worth the risk. I said to her yesterday, look, I'm not going to put you in that position physically where we couldn't afford from a squad perspective for her to have a setback. So there was a risk involved with her being out for so long and then getting through 3 90 minutes in a week. I wasn't willing to put her in that position. Yeah, I mean, I suppose player safety first, but also short and long term game. We need to get players back and fit and in a position where they can compete with each other. And yeah, certainly wasn't capable of starting 3 games in the space of a week. So yeah, sort of precautionary, really.
Absolutely. On the attacking side, Marissa's just come in here and said, in her mind, the lack of chances was maybe more disappointing than some of those defensive errors. Or what did you make of the chances on the attacking side tonight? 7 attempts, 0.44 xG.
Yeah, look, when you're playing against a team like this, and any team in the league, I think, but especially a team like this that's been together for so long and is well coached, you have to be more precise. You have to be better on the ball. And we had a game plan that we'd set up, and we weren't good enough at executing the game plan. And I voiced my opinions of that at halftime. Yeah, we had a game plan that was, I felt, pretty clear and pretty obvious, and we didn't execute. And the moments were there in the first half, and they were there in the second half as well. And yeah, some individual actions, some relationships that didn't quite work as we were anticipating and expecting.
Last one from me, and then Jackie can go. Probably Diana's quietest night in a Houston shirt. Was that more Sam Hyatt and Alana Cook being on top form, or was that things maybe the structure not being as clear as you wanted it to be?
Well, no, I think with the we anticipated how the Rain were going to defend from the front and press, and we identified before the game where we felt the spaces were going to be. I'm not going to share them on here, but I think it was pretty obvious in the game. I think at times it was difficult, certainly for D, difficult for our forwards, that they were a little bit detached from the game, especially when they were pressing high. And we lacked a little bit of courage there, especially in the first half. We lacked a bit of courage to take the ball off each other under pressure and say, look, give me a pass. And that was disappointing. That was probably the most disappointing thing about the first half, that we were not taking individual responsibility, weren't courageous enough to get the ball off a teammate in tighter situations and have the confidence to build out of it.
I guess just to follow up on that, where do you find the courage? Where does the courage come from?
Well, training for sure, right? It comes from training. I think I've said this for a couple of weeks now. We've struggled for, like a lot of teams in the league. We've not had a lot of time to train together, and obviously went back and forth with a different system that was effective for us until a point. So certainly not back to the drawing board, but we have to get time on the field. It's the only way we're gonna change some of the situations for us. And I think the situation with, you think all Doners especially, right? Teams are defending differently against us, especially in the box. So, we're going to have to modify some things and look to not change things up, but we're going to have to, adjust and position ourselves perhaps slightly different, because obviously they know that you've got a player in Sanchez that can deliver from wide areas, and you've got a box number 9 in Ordonez who can put the ball in the back of net if she gets good service. So teams are not making it easy for her, as you'd expect. So we've got to adjust a little bit, and a little bit of training, a little bit of time on the training field, Theo. I think we'll get there.
Thanks so much for your time, Sam. Enjoy the time on the training pitch, and unlucky tonight.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah.
Thanks, Theo. And Jeff, do you have a question?
Yeah. Hey, Sam. Appreciate you taking some time. Just wanted to get your thoughts too, obviously, with your experience with the rain and just being with the team for so long. Just how are you feeling, either ahead of the game or during the game? Just kind of got that process of just being on the other side of that.
Well, it was a bit weird initially when I first turned up, but then as soon as the whistle went, it was game on. So a little bit weird at the start. I remember it was a bit weird when Harves left the club and went to Utah. That was a little bit weird for her and a bit weird for me. Especially when she came back and played against the club. So a little bit weird initially at the start, but then as soon as the whistle went, it was game on. Right. So no thoughts about wanted to make sure I didn't sit on the wrong bench. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then too, I was asking Marissa this just about, despite the loss and just throughout the 90 minutes, and you kind of mentioned some of the stats earlier, but what do you feel like are maybe just some of the biggest takeaways or lessons that you can just incorporate into this next game as you face the Thorns?
There's a lot of work to be done. Yeah, I think the performance, the result stands on my shoulders, and we've got to improve. We've got to spend some time on the training ground to clean things up. It's not a million miles away, far from it. I mean, it's conscious of not getting too reactive to a result. Certainly not get too reactive, and don't get too positive, and don't think that everything's rosy when you win. And likewise, I'm not gonna go down the black hole of thinking that everything's bad. But on the training ground, that's where it's going to get fixed for sure.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate your time and hope you have safe travels home.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thanks, Jeff.